Cool. Welcome back, folks, on the SEOTalk webinar. We are glad to be hosting Rewati and Janvi today on the SEOTalk webinar. As you would know, this is our March Women in Marketing series, and this is the final episode of this series. And we are so glad to be hosting these two females who do some wonderful work in marketing. But to do justice to what they do, I would like them to introduce themselves. Revati, can you go first, please?
Thank you so much, Malar. First of all, thanks a lot for giving me, this is the second consecutive years I believe we are doing it. So congratulations on that. I'm happy to be, talk here today on how marketing has evolved and, how women are playing a key role in today's content marketing and marketing aspects, specifically talking about SEO and content marketing. To start with, I have been working in marketing for more than 8 years now. Majorly, I've worked on the agency side. I've worked. I previously was working with Makal Sokrati. I worked with Denso. A lot of brands where I have explored and had made my hands dirty to understand how they work, help them to enhance their digital strategy and bring more value to their work, whatever efforts we are putting in to get more visibility on the Google search with respect to content as well as SEO. Right now, I am working in a fintech's brand to help work around how the finance and the fintech side of things work. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Absolutely, our pleasure to be hosting you again this year. And Janvi, over to you, please.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Malhar, and thank you, the SEO Talks team, for inviting me. I'm very glad to be here and talking about marketing with Rewati here. About me, so I am a content strategist, and I've worked with a lot of D2C brands, helping them with strategy and their organic marketing. I've also worked with creators like Finance with Sharan and the One Person Club, and I basically do stuff around brand language, brand identity, copywriting, and everything that has to do with organic marketing. So yeah, that is what I do.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And for folks who are probably joining us for the first time or in the early days of this entire series, SEO Talk is one of the oldest community on in the social space, right, or social media space. So we started this community more than 10 years back, and what we do is we go live, have conversations around digital marketing, not just SEO. While the early days focus was on sorry, early days the focus was on SEO, but we gradually got interested or got guests from different parts of the entire digital marketing domain. So we have been doing this for past 10 years plus. The chat series, or what we do from a Twitter point of view, it goes live every Monday 9:30 p.m. India time as Twitter Space. And then we recently started the Twitter or the webinar series probably a year back, and this goes live every month with new guests. So, and I've been one of the founding member of this particular community. Parth and Varun joined us. Parth joined us about 5 years back. Varun joined us 2 years back, and it's like, and we are proud to say it's a non-profit kind of community. So we just come here, gather and share knowledge, and that has been the focus for SEO Talk over the years, and we would like to continue that focus, being one of the oldest community on SEO and content. All right. Saying that, and with all the stuff that we do, lot of conversations happening around content, SEO, so much of Google updates, etc., going on, AI, and all the stuff. So there's a lot of things lined up on the conversations today, and I will go ahead with Revati first on that question that we have. And also for people who have joined in, if you have any question during this entire conversation, please feel free to ask those questions on any channel that you have joined. And we are currently live on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So if you have any question, share it with us. We will ask the guests during this entire conversation. Okay, so Revati, Janvi, hope you guys are ready.
Yes,
Yeah.
excited.
Uh, cool. We are excited, definitely. Okay. So first to Revati, right? So a lot of stuff going in the SEO space, and your focus has been SEO for the longest time, right? And we
Yeah.
have seen those Google updates, penalties, etc., going on. Probably in last 1 year, there has been a lot of noise and changes going on. So SEO has been changing fast. Uh,
Yeah.
but in 2024, right, we are almost 3 months into this year. How do you foresee some of those changes getting into a bigger shape? What do you foresee happening in 2024 from a SEO lens?
Well, to start with, there has been a lot going on, like you already said, Mala. But I've all the time what I have observed or rather noticed around, there are only three, four things majorly, Google or in general in marketing space, the SEO professionals are talking about, which is shaping, which I believe should be shaping how 2024 goes. Uh, Few of these items are how the advancement in user experiences is coming in. Google or in general search engines are focusing more around how the user experiences, how to make user experience better for the customers who are coming on Google, going to any particular website to for a particular search query, that enhances how if they're able to get the answers for what they're looking for. Second, I believe, is definitely AI, which everybody is excited and working, and I believe everybody has consumed half of it. We are still ready to get more chunks of it to consume. And one thing I would rather like to emphasize on is the zero click searches. This is something which took a lot of hype around second half of 2023, when Gen AI came into existence in Google search. There's so many things happening. Previously we used to see a combination of Google paid and organic space in the search result in the SERP, where major focus was on the organic side of things. But since I believe from past 3 to 6 months, I'm able to see the picture has changed a little. Paid and organic has been a little aside, and Google is showcasing a lot of its rich results in the Google search. You see PA. Previously, there was only a couple of items which were visible on Google search. Now you get answers to each of your query, either it's long tail or short tail, in a fraction of second within clicking on any of the link present on the SERP, in the first fold of the SERP to be specific. So that is something I believe would should be major focus for us as an SEO professional for 2024. How we can leverage that, how we can improve our visibility on zero click searches, understanding the contextual bit of it, what sort of queries user put in, how to give how to basically understand that and give a solution to them with respect to how we are optimizing our websites. And definitely a few bit of it comes with a bit of 2 3 topics I believe which has been a little sideline is related to video SEO. YouTube definitely is a one part of it, and voice search optimization, considering majority of the searches for whichever website you go in today in the market, around 80 to 90% of their visibility or other users are coming in from mobile devices. How we can work around to optimize that for in general for voice searches and mobile optimization with respect to how compatible it is for each of the devices, that is something I believe we can work around when it comes to technical SEO side of things.
Fantastic. So we touched upon AI in SEO, we touched upon UX, we touched upon voice search, lot of things. It's going to be a busy year for SEO, guys.
Yes, definitely.
So, Janvi, then it comes to content, right? As content marketers, and again, on the SEO, the discovery part, a lot of things going on regarding the visibility and discovery, etc. How do you think that is changing or a aligning from a content marketing perspective this year?
Yeah, so obviously the content marketing is obviously changing at a very fast pace as well, with so many AI things coming up, with video content being so popular, with reels and everything. So if a brand cannot like afford to, neglect video content at all in this era. And also I believe that the consumers that we're targeting are mostly Gen Zs, and Gen Zs have a like different perspective about marketing now, as we used to have before, before used to believe in celeb endorsements and everything, and that does not work for Gen Zs anymore. They're very conscious about what product they're consuming. And I think the main part that we can help to target Gen Z would be to delve into storytelling, to show the personality of your brand, to show the story behind your brand. And that is something that I think will be changing in content marketing as well. People follow boat, or people buy products from boat more because they like the personality of Aman Gupta, they like the founder, they like the story behind it, they like the things that they're doing, the boat that is doing. So I think that is changing. And memes are coming up. There's so much happening in the content world that it's very difficult to keep up with it. And I think if somebody is like really looking into that, they should look into the Gen Z consumer perspective as to what they are consuming and what they are liking. That is the best way to go forward.
Okay, so which means Shah Rukh Khan in a Santur ad might not work now.
in our era, like 10 years back, maybe it used to be a really big thing. But today, I think that is not the only thing that people are looking at when they are looking at consumption and everything.
Definitely. Thank you so much. So again, I'll continue with you, Janvi, on because I think you mentioned the point about AI part of it, right? So, see, AI, for me personally, AI is becoming an all-pervasive, right? So you cannot right now go back and say, okay, I am not interested in AI, or I will not do AI, or I will not have AI content, etc. Right? Everyone is doing it. Everyone is leveraging it, right? In their own ways, right? We can't say it is good or bad because it is going to be the future. It is the present right now. So how do you balance that with a very human-centric approach and AI both together?
Yeah. So, firstly, I think AI cannot be ignored. That is for sure. Like, if somebody is still ignoring AI and thinking, that it's fine, or that is, it's now high time that we should understand that AI is going to take the world. But when it comes to creativity, it is very difficult for AI right now, with whatever advancement there is, to really come up with those kind of outputs that a human can come up with. So there is definitely a difference between what a human can generate and what an AI. But even I personally, when I do my client work or whatever work I'm doing, I use AI to help me with my work, to get it done faster, to get it done easier. But when it comes to thinking part or coming with creative ideas, that is where my human brain works better, is what I feel. If I had to give an example, like I'm writing some post or some caption that I'm writing, for example, and I want to change a word there which I feel is like a bit salesy or something. So I will think about it. I will go to Google, search for words. It's better to ask ChatGPT to give 10 other words for the same word to replace, and it is just so faster to obviously make improvements in your writing and do stuff. But when it comes to creativity, when it actually comes to thinking of ideas and storytelling, I think human brain is at a much higher pace, and AI will take at least 10 to 15 years to maybe get to that level, not happening very quickly. So there we have
Or
an
10,
edge
15
ahead.
years, really? Because I think, I don't know. We are in a
I
2 minute Maggie generation. So.
I'm still looking like the pace that it is happening. Maybe I know, maybe lesser, but I think that humans, storytelling, the human side of things will always remain relevant. But yes, you have to take help of AI. It will help you, reduce your cost. A lot of people hire so many people to, do stuff. You can work in that area. You can, lesser your cost when you're working in marketing. You can have better outputs at a lower time. So it helps you get faster results. That is the other thing. So yes, I'm still exploring, and I think every new day there's coming some new improvement. There's coming something new happening. With voice modulation, with AI influencers is something that I also saw. So there's so many things happening, and I think that we obviously need to be educated, and we need to see what is happening and try out ourselves, but also not neglect the human side of it and completely go into AI. I think it will slowly and steadily happen uh, for like the change to take place and for the consumers also to get hang of it.
No, absolutely. So I was recently in some conversation around a similar topic, and the crux of that entire conversation became like the empathy will still be human, right?
Mm.
Yeah, correct,
While the
correct.
We'll
context can
always
be
See,
need
stripped
a
off
little
from it.
human touch there.
see, even in ChatGPT, you have to have somebody writing those prompts that will
Hmm.
help
Correct.
you get those results. And the quality of prompts that you write is
Hmm.
how the result would be there. So that also requires human mind. So a human mind cannot be replaced, that is for sure.
Absolutely. So I'll flip this question to Revati also in terms of AI in SEO, because like even we cannot say that there is no impact of AI in SEO. There is definitely a lot of stuff coming in there also. And I don't know if you have probably seen the SGE part of SOAP, and again from an AI in SEO perspective, do you think that is going to impact as well?
Definitely, that is going to impact. That's where I believe the previous question I mentioned, there's a zero-click searches, a new term basically, which has evolved a lot because you don't even have to click on a blue link to get an answer to your question. So it's more of Google is giving direct answers to the user rather than we are helping Google to give answers to the people. So that's evolving a lot. And when it comes to understand what is the role of AI in SEO, I believe we can use it in numerous ways, depends on what you need AI to do. The like I have basically used to be specific about ChatGPT. I've used ChatGPT a lot for a few set of tasks that usually comes under SEO. It's keyword research to get a better understanding how which clusters it falls around. Then competitor analysis, it gives a very good research if you're very good in prompt engineering, like Janvi just said, it's all about how you
Yeah.
put effort in your prompt engineering. So if you're very good with that, you'll definitely get a very detailed and structured bit of it, detailed research and competitor analysis through Chat GPT. It's basically helps you to make your work easier, depends on how basic you can leverage that part, take help of AI tools, maybe ChatGPT or any other tool, to specify a few activities that or other tasks that you can work around is predictive analysis that you can do. You can do a lot of technical SEO automations, understanding audits, which help you to reduce your effort time that you spend on doing these, regular or daily BAU tasks can help you optimize your effort around that. Similarly, if you can use a little advanced technologies like maybe natural language processing or do a predictive analysis to get an understanding how your user behavior is, how good your content and the search query that the user is putting, how well you're able to understand the sentiment of the user, it's easier for you to personalize your content, and it will help you to rank in Google even more easily and higher in the SERP bit. So it's easier how the more effort you're able to put in, the better understanding you get how SGE works. It's a little play of AI plus human. So if you're able to crack the AI part, I believe a lot of us have how it works for in general for SEO for humans. So it's easier to club both the items and get better visibility in search.
No, absolutely. So any particular use case? So because the reason I'm asking this is, say, a couple of things that even I personally have implemented from my workplace point of view is, say, uh, even from the analytics part, right?
Hmm.
So I could download my entire 6 month report from GA, feed into a chat GPT and tell it, give me the insights out of this report, right? What is performing well, what is not performing well, right? Something which probably we used to do manually a while back
Hmm.
before chat GPT, etc. came in, right? So it makes, like Janvi said, some of those tools can make your work faster, right? And that was
definitely.
biggest advantage. Also, I know our friend Path, who is the host, uh, he's a big fan of Gemini, the Google tool, where because again, the closeness that it has to the entire search ecosystem and the natural language processing APIs of Google, there's a lot of stuff you can do on Gemini. So I think he has a whole bunch of stuff that we can do using Google Gemini from an SEO point of view.
Definitely.
Yeah, on the content side, Janvi, something that we did, see, from a very content specific point of view was, see, we fed in, see, about 6 months of our blog content, right, to those GPT engine, and asked it to analyze my tone of voice. Right, so any new content writer or content person comes in, they can write the content on the topic, etc. But then they go into the GPT tool and say, okay, align it to the tone of voice for my brand, and that's the thing that it could do. Because something, because when you have a bunch of content writers, you will know the tone of voice changes also. So all those things, basics were pretty much they leveraged using AI and managed using AI. So fantastic. So glad to know your thoughts on it. So Rewati, I'll continue with you because you mentioned voice search also a little while earlier. Do you feel it is still a thing? Do you think, do you pursue that voice search will continue to be something brand should lay importance on, right? And from an SEO point of view, how can brands start, say, understanding the entire voice search perspective?
Well, I believe we are still adapting it, and definitely there's more to it because, like I said, majority of the users which are coming on in general in any of the websites, you will definitely notice more than 80% of your audience or users are coming from the mobile device. So the more compatible their device is to easily find your brand or solution to any of their search queries that they're putting in, that will give us more. Space or opportunity to improve and get more visibility on Google search. To give an idea, a lot of queries that user put in are quite of you can say on the conversational node or the natural tone, voice tone of a human. So it's easier if you are able to understand the natural language queries. It's easier for you to make your content strategy around it so that it's easier. If a user is putting voice enabled devices asking for a particular query, you will definitely get more visibility on such responses. It's easier for voice assistants like maybe Google Assistant, Siri, or Alexa for that matter, to fetch a response directly from it. Majority of the voice assistant directly pulls their responses from the feature snippet or the zero search or the direct answers that we get on Google search. So it's easier for them if we are able to get visibilities on these rich results. They can directly pick their answers from there, and it's easier for you also to improve your visibility around it. Majority of the queries are long tail when a user is searching on the voice search assistants. So the better you understand the natural language processing or understand the natural language of a user, curate your strategy and content around it, it's easier to get more visibility around. Definitely there's more we haven't, to be very honest, I believe a lot of SEO professionals haven't really exploited that much that it should be as a voice search strategy or optimization. There's a lot to it. We are still working on it, and we'll definitely, I believe, have a lot of scope and opportunity to improve on that front. It's up to us how we want to optimize, or the brands how they want to optimize it. Malhar, you're on mute.
My bad. So say from a brand point of view, right? So do you see this focus going only for a from a long tail point of view, or how does that matter? How can brands figure out their opportunities? Any thoughts there?
It's very easy to give you a very specific answer to it. It's related to your keyword research. If, for example, if it's an e-commerce brand, maybe Myntra or Amazon for that matter, I'm searching for a blue t-shirt, but I'm searching for a blue t-shirt for women of X size. That's a long tail query. I'm giving you a specific query. I need a specific answer for that. So it's very easier for search engine to understand a specific query. You'll get very, very particular answer for your exact question. The more vague question or query you put in, you'll get a plethora of things on the SERP, and you have to go through each lines and each links and understand if that particular website or query or link answers your question.
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much on that. So Janvi, coming back to you because we did voice search part of it. Now coming to the attention span, right? So uh, I and we hear this often, right? So the attention span have become like very short, less than a goldfish, and all the stuff. That is on one side, and the other side, it's the same people who do binge watch on a YouTube or a Netflix or anything. So content is see, and this is what I perceive, right? So it's really all about content, how interesting that content, right? If you have, probably for a lack of a better word, if you have shitty content, you cannot expect people to keep watching or keep consuming your content, right? And then you cannot blame the attention span, it's your content. So from that point of view, right? So how do you manage content that can encourage some kind of deeper engagement and get people to say converse or consume your content for a longer amount of time, given your experience working with some of those creators also?
Yeah, so that is definitely a problem, like our attention span. We have Netflix, we have YouTube, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. So there's so much content out there, and we like it's very hard to compete with so many creators to get the attention of the audience. That is definitely a problem. And I think long long form content, just to keep the attention span, to get someone to watch a 4-hour video is also a challenge right now. That is also something that is happening, and people are more inclined towards short form content. But even what happens there is, like, even you all must have experienced this, that while you're scrolling you might remember the content piece, but you will hardly remember the brand that had posted that, or the person, what was his name. You will also not remember that. You might remember the content because it is happening just so fast and you're consuming so many reels and etc. So standing out becomes really difficult. And what I have seen is working is sharing your personality also. If you are just sharing about case studies and everything, people might remember the case study, but they might forget you. So you should share your personal experience, that I have worked with this brand and I learned this and that. So they might remember you. So that is one, sharing your personality. Even if it's a brand, I think there are so many ways that you can put out the brand personality as to what you stand. Zomato is doing a fantastic job at that. We know how Zomato stands for, what type of content it posts and everything. They're actively engaging with other creators, other brands on Instagram and other platforms. And even like if somebody is running an Instagram page or their personal page, I think using stories, the story feature that there is, putting out stories every day, that also helps. Initially, I used to find it very hard, why should I share my, personal day thing and everything? It is very hard to, let your personal life into that. But I think that really helps if you want to go into the longer game. Showing yourself, your personality actually helps people remember you more than your content, because people might remember you sharing that content piece or that case study and everything, but what you stand for, what you believe in, your values, everything comes out when you show your personality online. So I think that is the way one needs to go forward. And as I said earlier also, that Gen Z want to know your stories. People like Aman Gupta are becoming more popular, like Shah Rukh Khan and everybody, because they have shown their personalities on platforms. They have showed what they stand for, what is their story, etc. So I think that is something that really helps this attention span problem.
Cool. So is there a cheat sheet that someone can follow?
Cheat sheet, as I said, rather than telling people how to, I think you should follow how I. how I did this, how I made this possible, how I learned from this, how I just sharing your journey, documenting your journey every day, whatever you're doing. Everybody has something valuable to share online in their day-to-day life. Everybody is learning something. So there's always content coming from you. So you don't need to think much about it, how to, share the best case study or everything. Just share how I did this. There are 10 people who want to learn from your experience. So I think that would be my cheat sheet, to follow more of how I did rather than how to.
Okay, so that also builds authenticity. Do you think like
Yeah,
that?
correct. Definitely that helps in authenticity as well.
Absolutely. So thank you so much and lovely answer. So uh, the biggest challenge, right, content marketers face today. What do you feel that is, right? Well, like we touched upon some of that part, Janvi, that authenticity bit, right? Because sometimes when creators go back, or I'm using creators encompassing as a term, right? When they put out content and all those stuff, the challenge is how much content to produce, how frequently should it be put out, right? How do you manage that from a content creator point of view, and when you work with brands or creators, that how do you give them that laundry list of things to do and say this will help you overcome some of those challenges?
Right. So as you said, that authenticity is also like a problem. So again, to that solution is, just you share your personal thing. You take out time every day and, just think of what is happening in your life, whatever it is, just sharing your failures, your wins, everything. Even on LinkedIn, I think, Rewati, you must have also noticed this. Even on LinkedIn, your stories work the best. Even though those are failure stories or, setbacks or anything, people learn so much from that. So just being authentic, whatever you have achieved in your journey or whatever setbacks you have gone through, just sharing that always works. Another, I think, problem with brands is also, and creators also, I would feel, is measuring the ROI. Content marketing is something that it is very hard to measure the ROI, and I think that is one of the biggest challenges for content marketers as well as for the brand. With performance marketing coming up, you can very easily, understand the ROI. You put out ads and you get conversion and everything. But people need to understand this. Even on Shark Tank, I've been watching Shark Tank a lot, and I've seen people investing so much money on performance marketing and everything. And there was a episode where Vinita also pointed out and that performance marketing won't help you in the long run. It is definitely a good strategy when you're starting out and you want your brand to be visible to the audience and everything, but it is content marketing that will be there, always relevant. Your brand message, what you are targeting, what is your entire reason of starting this brand, what is your why, what is that you're helping people solve. So I think those are the things that content marketing covers, but it is very difficult to understand the ROI. So anybody who is into content marketing, I would highly suggest that you start tracking your ROI. It is not that difficult. There are a lot of platforms like HubSpot is something that you can use. They have tools which will help you which will help you understand your entire user journey from coming to your platform to visiting the website, etc. So there are a lot of conversion, a lot of sales that happens from social media as well. A lot of influencers are there, who talk about fashion and etc. And it is all people actually go and shop for those clothes or for that cosmetic products and everything. That is all happening because of content marketing. It is just that we're not able to measure the ROI. So that is the biggest challenge that I feel everybody should work upon, and try to measure that in whatever way possible. And that is how you will understand how much you need to actually put your efforts into this, or how much you need to get better, what is lacking, how did this sale happen, what did consumer like, which content piece did they like the most, reviewing their comments, their feedback. A lot of people actually go onto YouTube comment section and see what their customers are saying. So I think that is also that definitely helps.
No, definitely. And I'll take one off track question. I know it can come as a surprise for both of you. And I would want both of you to probably give your, say, neutral feedback on that. Performance marketing for brand building or performance marketing for user acquisition? What should brands do first?
I think user acquisition, brand building cannot happen with performance marketing, because I think there are a lot of things that come when it comes to building a brand. It is not just running one single ad, and people might like your product, and they would buy it once or twice or whatever they have used it. That is more into the product thing. You can have that initial user base that is using your product and giving feedback, etc. It is very good strategy if you're starting out marketing, performance marketing. But building a brand is so much wider. It requires so many other things as well. Understanding your customers, that is where content marketing plays a bigger role. Your packaging, what is working, what is not, which product is doing better, and how can you just communicate the message that your brand is holding to the audience. So if you look at the best of the brands, be it Zomato, be it Boat, they don't require performance marketing right now. Their content marketing, the brand has just become so strong. So I think they are two very different things and they need to go hand in hand. But a lot of brands today are focusing more on performance marketing just because of the ROI part. And I think that is where content marketing is lacking. If we can measure that, content marketing has a very good ROI in the long run as well.
Absolutely. So Mokobara can probably just focus on user acquisition using performance marketing and not brand building. Would you say so?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I,
Perfect.
I,
Great to
I
your
would,
thought. Yeah.
yeah, I would contradict with Janvi's, point of view a little, not very much, to be very honest. I believe both the things goes hand in hand. Like she just gave an example for both. They have established their brand, so it's easier for them now to focus on the,
Exactly.
customer acquisition part of thing. So she basically gave the answers to what I was trying to make a point of. First you have to get an understanding if you're visible to the correct set of audience, then you don't have to work on doing putting a lot of money or spend a lot of budget on customer acquisition. Once you have built a brand, it's easier to get a customer acquisition. If you directly run and go towards, I want to acquire more customer, but your brand is not that much visible or have that much of familiarity with your target audience, it's very difficult. Your definitely the budget and the cost for like CPC will definitely go higher and higher because you don't have that good branding or the customer does not know about your brand, so it's very difficult for you to acquire a lot of customer. Both things goes hand in hand, but it's up to you how you balance it with respect to ratio. For initially, if you're starting in general, put a lot of effort in the branding side of thing rather than putting on the customer acquisition. That's how you divide, maybe make it 60/40 or
Yeah.
70/30. Put more on branding. Once you have a very good visibility in the market, your brand has a little had made a little noise, people are aware, getting aware about your brand, then you start spending more on and increase that ratio from 70/30 or 60/40 to vice versa. Then it's easier to get more acquisition, and for that matter at that point in time you don't have to spend that much of budget to do so. And
So
Absolutely.
simultaneously,
you're
definitely SEO and content is something that should go hand in hand, because
Hmm.
once you stop spending that budget after a particular point in time, that SEO will give you a lot of
Yeah.
outcomes or impact in the longer run.
Yeah, and the reason people do that is because they feel that the ROI here is less because they're looking at the short-term
Exactly.
picture, is what I
Yeah.
feel. And they think, performance marketing say customer jaldi aa rahe, so they rather spend there. So I think that
They
needs
need
to
to
change.
keep content and organic and SEO part in the backend running while they are doing branding and
Yeah,
running campaigns. So by the
right,
time they are exhausted with their budget, that's where SEO will come into picture and give them actual impact that they were looking for.
right,
नहीं,
right.
इसमें मुझे वो मारुति वाला ऐड याद आता है कि कितना देती है, राइट? कि when
That's
it
why I
comes
said
to
it's about ratio. How you spend it, that will give a better understanding to you if you are doing properly or investing in a correct way to get more visibility for your brand. Then automatically customers will come in. Abhi, you
Yeah,
don't have Maruti don't have to spend that much of money because it's very they have I would rather say they have 70-80% of audience in India they have their target audience set कि ये वाली target audience मेरी और ये हमारे पास ही आएगी. They have that clear picture in their mind. Even the audience have that clear picture in their mind because of they have made such a huge they have spent that much of time and huge budget in branding to give user an understanding we are here for you. We have what you're looking for. So it's easier now for them.
Absolutely. Nice. Sorry to put you guys on the spot, but I thought this question came at a very interesting point. So I thought we'll pick that up, right?
Yeah.
So continuing on the flow and moving to Rewati now, right? Because you also spoke about the user experience part, and that also aligns to what, say, something Janvi mentioned, that when we are measuring ROI and all those stuff, right? How the user consumes, how easier it is for the user to consume content or discover content. UX plays a major role there, right? And
Yes.
from an SEO point of view, how do you think with all those new web technologies, etc., coming in, where do you think it plays a role?
It definitely plays a very, very important role today, in fact, because I believe the shift has been little change from Google's perspective, if I can be very specific talking about Google here, because previously it was about how easily your brand is able to get, positioned in the top 3 or 5 links in the SERP. Now it's more about what the user is looking for. The shift has been changed. So as the shift has been changed, automatically the experience part of it help us to get a better understanding to enhance it for user, not for the brand. So the better user experience your customer is getting, it's easier for you to convert them. If a particular set of my user out of 100 users coming to landing on my website, only 80% are going through the first 2 folds of the website. There's definitely some hiccup or issue that they are facing. They're not finding what they're looking for and bouncing back. So you need to get a better understanding how the user is engaging. That's where your how the experience part of thing comes into picture. For to give an example, you can use a lot of tools that gives you an understanding how a user is interacting on your page. You can use maybe Hotjar or Medallia for that matter to get an understanding how well they are engaging, get an understanding about their scroll depth, get an understanding how they're engaging, how many clicks or buttons they are clicking, how many scrolls they are going through. Majority of your out of 100% audience, how many are engaging with your page. That will give you a better understanding where to improve first thing, and where exactly we are lagging. If there's some technical aspect, maybe there's some loading issue because of which the user is going back. So you need to keep a very, very good eye on the technical aspects of the page, get an understanding how engaging that page is with respect to content, the multimedias that we are putting in. The more the engagement the user is able to give, definitely automatically it will improve your engagement and sessions, and eventually talking about ROI and revenue through which you can generate to get a better understanding. The more time the user is spending, automatically you'll get the impact of it on your side.
That is true. And also, do you think that, say, any brand who is probably, say, redoing their website or content in some way, uh, they should be thinking about a mobile first approach right now because a
Definitely,
lot of
definitely.
consumption. Yeah. Uh, and coming to you've been a very nice point in terms of understanding the clicks, understanding the scroll depth, etc. And I had a very sorry about this. I had a very interesting use case where, say, one of the brand that I worked with, right, and this was a very large brand, so organically they could clock, say, probably around 500,000 kind of visitors in a month or something. But when we looked at the data points and all those things, say, deeper analytics led us to say, okay, people drop out after say about 2 clicks, and their
Mm.
core services and those pages, the core business pages, were only coming at a third click, right? So
Mm.
they had to redo that entire, say, even from a menu point of view, that entire menu had to be redone so that the clicks,
That
etc., could be
that
understood.
reminds me of one of the brands I was working in my previous company. That was a banking website, finance banking website, core website. They had one of their pages where people can opt or log in, opt for a particular forex card, forex exchange card, for example. So the issue that we were able to identify was there were a lot of suddenly the bounce rate increased and the engagement went a little low. When we went through the data, we got an understanding. This was in 1 or 2 days, in a span of 1 or 2 days only, because the bounce rate drastically improved. Like the number was very high compared to the average that they were going through. We understood that started going the bounce rate started going higher because there was a OTP generation which was supposed to come and user click on it. On the second click, OTP was not getting generated. Because of that, a lot of users were bouncing off, plus the overall conversion that they were getting also went off because of that OTP issue. For some sort of server, you can say, or something related to a particular networking mobile network, the OTP was not getting generated. So these are very small items, and this is not something the user is logged in. They're still filling information. They're giving you leads. They're giving you information, and if they come across any such issue, they don't even bother to spend a lot of time. They're like, nahi aa raha hai, leave it, we'll go to some other website. And because there's so many options in the market, why exactly should I stick to a particular single brand when I can get the same item or same thing from some other brand where I get a better experience and better customer service. So that's a very small thing to get an understanding, but how well you're able to keep your tech sorted, if you're able to understand how many where exactly the user is getting stuck in a particular sequence of user journey, you can easily improve your conversion rate. That can definitely give you a better understanding what sort of engagement a user is looking for, or what sort of information that particular user is looking for.
Absolutely. Fantastic. So I'll flip it over to Janvi on this in terms of, do you probably have some particular use case that you want to highlight, and some of the KPIs that should be tracked when someone is doing it? I know some of those things we touched earlier, but
Yeah.
say with some kind of specific example, would you have something to share?
Yeah. So whenever we talk about content marketing, I think Zomato is the one that comes to mind. But I want to give you another new example. Actually, I was going through this case study about this brand, and it really blew my mind, and I wanted to share that. So the app is Duolingo. I don't know if you have heard about it.
Yeah.
It's the language learning app. So in this
Yeah.
era where edtech is failing badly, people are having hard time surviving their tech platform. I think Duolingo has done a fabulous job at that. They're also like an edtech platform only. They're teaching languages, but in a very interesting way. And as I mentioned before, that even brands can have a personality. That is what Duolingo has done. They have this character Duo, which actually has a very mom-like personality, just telling you to take your lessons every day. And, they're sending these really good notifications that you actually go and, take those lessons every single day and, maintain that streak. So they have done a fabulous job at it. Even if you look at their social media content, they're just highlighting these different characters. They've also brought in more characters. There's Lily and there are other friends also of Duo, and they are having such a good content marketing done. Duo is actually replying to so many comments on the post. He's actually engaging with other platforms, and such a strong personality that people actually remember it, and they are inclined towards using that app again and again with those notifications coming in. So that has worked fabulously well for this Duolingo EdTech platform, and that is my advice to any other platform that can actually help get a character to it. I think that would definitely help. So many EdTech platforms are there; they're not working so good. I think if they can have something like this, it will definitely help them. Just adding some personality touch, or just showing authenticity again, that would be the game changer. And that has worked for Duolingo, and it is just one of the best case studies that I've gone through recently. So I just felt like sharing.
Yeah, absolutely. But in terms of metrics, right? See, because I think you mentioned, right, content marketing is something where probably tracking the metrics is the most difficult part, right? But see, if you are probably working with a brand or creator, etc., what are some of those metrics that you would want to highlight to them and say, okay, this is how say a content marketer is able to drive change for you?
So I think that you need to have to keep a funnel in mind, that this is how you will drive your audience to your end result, whatever it is, your website, your at buying the add to cart part, whatever it is, you have to have that journey decided, and you have to make sure how you do that. So when I used to work with Sharan also, he had a like a very strong funnel. He used to have people, he used to make reels around, masterclass, and he used to collaborate with other creators also, just to add that fun element in those reels. And he would just talk about, the master class is happening and you need to register. And then he used to track with the link in bio how many people actually clicked that bio. So there's so many I think tools that you can actually use to track how many people clicked in link in bio. That is one thing that you can track. वहां से ये पता चल जाएगा कि reel कितने लोग देखकर इधर आए. After that, how many people from that actually went on to buy your masterclass and actually paid. So that is also something that you can very easily track from the backend. That is something that can be done. And even in the masterclass, he used to talk about his other courses and then get sales from that. So that is the funnel that he had built for himself. So that is something that even other brands and content marketers can keep in mind, to have a set user journey pre-decided as a funnel, that I will help do this and this, and then decide how you will be putting out the content to get people actually go to the link or comment. So many posts you must have seen, people say write comment send to get this, or comment send in the below to get that link, etc. So many affiliate marketers do that, and then they send the link, and from there they track what is happening. So I think these are the ways that people can track. And again, there are so many analytics that Instagram and YouTube, these platforms themselves offer for you to keep a check. How what is the age bracket that is happening. Like in your, I do this. I check how many people are actually male, how many are female. That also gives me so much insight, and I can make my content that way. How many people are from India? How many people are from different states? So all these things, I think Instagram does a fabulous job when it comes to um, you know tracking these metrics. So I think that is there, and having a user journey will definitely help you if you have a brand and you want to get sales and ROI. That is there.
Absolutely. Very nice. Fantastic. Again, flipping the same question to Revati in terms of what metrics, because new age, they say probably when I was growing up within this industry, it was like, okay, click kitna hai, bounce kitna hai, bas khatam ho gaya, right? What beyond that?
Yeah.
Now there's a lot of things that can be tracked.
Yes, definitely. There's a lot of things that can be tracked. When basically you need to have a combination of metrics which are related to each other that you should be monitoring. To start with, definitely traffic is one of them. How much traffic you're getting, get an understanding of the overall channels, not just organic. That will give you a view where you're getting the maximum the maximum traction. Secondly, where you need to focus more on in general, including all the channels. That will give you some sort of opportunity where you need to emphasize more and put a few items in your future strategy point of view in the upcoming months of in the year. Apart from that, apart from traffic, definitely increase visibility and engagement on your website, because content is something all other websites, all your competitors, everyone is putting on on the internet. The point is how exactly you're able to give it a personal touch, what the user is looking for. If they're able to relate to your content, it's easier for you to get more and more engagement for that content. Basically, you can say club both the items where you put your content and let users or the customers unable to put their generated content, the UGC content. It gives you even more authority when Google is going through your site, because the more engagement you get, they get an basically algorithm get an understanding that the user is getting what they're looking for. They are going through the whole content, they are understanding it, and it's easier for you to rank higher in that sense, because the more UGC content you have, the user is going through the whole of the content that you're putting it, it's easier for the you to get more visibility and rank higher on Google search. Apart from that, definitely go down the funnel. Ultimately, once we have visibility on traffic, user engagement, the ultimate goal definitely finally comes down to the business outcome, revenue and ROI. That gives you an understanding how exactly your funnel is going through. To give it a bit of a, maybe you can say what all other matrix that you can put in it to get an understanding how to improve it a bit more, what all opportunities you have. That's where your technical SEO point of view comes into picture. The page load time, core web vitals, how well you're ranking, where exactly you're ranking for a list of keywords. Divide your keywords into different clusters: generic, branded, non-branded, your category specific one, product specific ones. That gives you a better understanding where more engagement you're getting, where you're getting higher CTR. What are the set of keywords where you need to focus more on, which has a very good search potential and you haven't tapped into it. Get an use tools like maybe SEMrush, where you get an understanding of the content gap. What are the set of keywords where competitors are ranking well, what are the share keywords you have with your competitors, and try to get an understanding how you can do well compared to what your competitors are already writing or putting on their website. Once you basically club all these metrics and monitor each and every item, you basically get a very clear cut understanding what sort of strategy you need to put forth immediately, what are the items that you need to work for the upcoming 3 to 6 months, and what is the opportunity area where you haven't tried yet, considering the gap you have with your competitors. And definitely work around that and keep it as a future scope where you want to improve your visibility compared to the other competitor brands. Club everything together
Absolutely.
and then make a strategy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's a very nice way to put it when I'll use the example Janvi mentioned some time back in terms of it's more about not what the brand wants to sell, but it is more about what people want to buy or something else. So people
Exactly.
have to start thinking from that point of view as a brand strategist, SEO person, or content person. It's not about what I want to sell as a brand, but usko kya chahiye, right? If
Hmm.
we understand that and then design your funnel according to that, that okay, now it is solving this problem of my
Hmm.
potential or a prospective customer, right? Then it's much more easy, and then metrics against each of them.
Yeah.
Cool. So there is one question I think is shared. Like there is a hot, and this is for Revati. I think there is a hot
Okay.
take around SEO after recent Google updates. Google doesn't understand the content on your website, but it understands more about how users interact with it. What are your thoughts
Yeah.
on that?
I believe I've given answer to the same question in fractions, which we just discussed. I'll just put three things over there to answer the question. One is how well is your technical SEO? Basically, Google understands well how they go through the core web vital, what sort of largest content you have, how input or the next click is performing, and how your overall page performance with respect to layout shift is happening. That gives them an understanding of the user engagement. That is first thing, definitely. Second thing, the engagement rate, or the something we used to call previously bounce rate, that gives them an understanding how much engaging your page is. So or it's very easier to for the Google algorithm to get an understanding how relevant your page is for that particular query. First thing. Second thing, whatever content you're putting in, that's already there on the other 10 other platforms. So what sort of value add you're putting in? If
Mhm.
it's I'll give you an example. For say it's a very simple thing what you put in. Go through a blog which has a title and just the content and conclusion and its. Then I visit another blog where I see the title, I see a table of content, I see each and everything written in pointers. I see a lot of references over there. I see a lot of content, related multimedia, infographics, videos, and stuff like that. So the more content bits, the more engaging part you put on your page, the user will engage with your page. They'll spend more time on your page. that gives a hint that they are landed on the right page that they were looking for, a right query they were searching for. It's a very
I
small
call
thing.
that Pani Puri model of content.
See, you need to have
Snackable,
each and every
snackable,
bit of it in
snackable
correct
content, right?
proportion.
मतलब हाँ,
Yes.
छोटा सा पानी पूरी ले लो, खा लो, right? समझ में आ गया,
So,
right? That's
Pani Puri mein you have 3-4 items. You need to have
yeah,
all these 3-4 items in correct proportion. Then only you can enjoy it. If you increase or remove a few items out of it, it doesn't taste the same, and you might not feel like eating it more. So in a way
yeah.
or some way or the other, it's the same thing how you put it. And definitely the last part is the UGC part of it, how the user generated content are putting in. The more engagement you get, automatically the search engine will understand that the page is more engaging for the user and it is relevant for their particular search query. Simple.
Cool. Nice. So I think we are almost over fag end of
I like that Pani
podcast.
Puri wala example. That's quite an engaging thing to give.
वही ना मतलब that is something which everyone probably relates easily to.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Okay. So final one, and let me go this with Janvi that say with all the emerging trends, short form content, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, say LinkedIn also trying to bring in TikTok content and all this stuff. Where do you think the future lies in, right? What are probably from your perspective or from what you foresee, what are some of those emerging trends around content marketing, not just in 2024, right, but also say over next 2 3 years, what do you feel brands or creators should start focusing on?
Okay. So for creators, I'll start with creators. I think the future lies in the niches. The more niched you are, the better chances are of you standing out from the crowd. So, for example, there's so many digital marketers right now, but if you actually niche down your service to, digital marketer, and I just work for D2C brands, it actually gives you a better understanding, and definitely differentiates you from the others that are there. Also, I know there's so many agencies, influencer marketing agencies right now, and I know this one person who runs the agency, and he only targets finance creators. So if I am a finance creator and there is one agency that is like India's best agency, and there is other agency who has only worked with finance creators and has shown results, I'm more inclined towards going with this one. So I think niching down will definitely help you in your content part as well. And coming to the brands, I think video content is something that is blowing up. So video content is something that is non-negotiable. Any brand who is starting out or is in the content game, they need to focus on video content part. And with AI, so many new things are coming up. So, if you can personalize your stuff using AI, that would be a great thing to, go forward. People love personalization even today. So using technology and AI to, see what can happen with your technical parts, that could help definitely. Video content is one thing, and as I mentioned earlier, that having a personality, I think that is the number one thing that any brand can focus on today. I recently made a reel about this also, that people, whenever they start out a brand, they focus more on the logo part, and the fonts, everything should be perfect design wise, and then they start. But they completely forget about they completely forget about what is their message that they're trying to communicate, their brand language, their strategy. I think that has to come first, even before your logo and other stuff. So I think that is most important, and anybody who's starting out needs to keep that in mind.
Yeah, so probably that's what I think. That the reason I raised my hand is because I'm very
We
finicky
all
about.
have been there.
Yeah.
We all have done that mistake. लोगो सबसे पहले आना चाहिए. बाकी चीजें बाद में.
And my team really gets annoyed at times that okay, nahi yaar, logo hi to hai. And like for me, see, when I work with a brand, I see this is
It
the
gives a
identity.
little identity. Ha, exactly.
That's a good thing also, to obsess over
Yeah.
your brand, just be very particular design wise. Even I do that, and I think that's a good thing. But
Hmm.
just focusing on that is not like the good way to go. There are a lot of other things that you need to have in preparation before starting out, I think.
Absolutely. And from a content form, right? I know I touched upon it, but this is a little on the delivery part. That do you think podcast as a form or as a medium of content marketing? Do you think that is it? Because say for personally, say I started consuming podcast way back in say probably more than 10 years or 12 years back, right? And this was only when Apple used to have its own podcast platform. There was no one else. To now, where people are doing, say, a Nikhil Kamath can do a 2-3 hour kind of podcast on
Yeah,
a
I was
YouTube.
about to tell you, I was about to mention that I never believed that I will watch a 4 hour podcast, and I did. So I think podcasts are a great way right now. It really helps you connect with the audience. Like even if you're just watching, listening to them, it helps you understand so much the personality of the person. It builds a very deep connection. I might have problem watching 3 hour movies, 2 hour movies, but I've watched that podcast, 4 hours, and it just went away and I didn't even realize. So I think podcasts are trending, and it is a great way to go ahead if somebody can do that.
So, would you say D2C brands should look at podcast as one of the mediums or
Yeah,
from a content?
definitely. A lot of people are doing, like Zomato also started their podcast. There's so many. Even the barber shop company, they
Oh, yeah,
have
it's a one.
something.
Hmm.
The Bombay Shaving Company, so they also have that podcast started out. So I think it is a great way to build connection. A lot of people have problem because it, I think, requires a lot of time investment. Definitely does, rather than just a short reel. So people lag there. But if you have a good presence and everything, you think that you'll be able to handle all the effort part, and it is just a great way to go. Matlab, podcasts are all trending right now.
Super. Thank you so much. Reti, over to you. Crystal
Yeah.
ball gazing, yeah, what do you foresee should be something SEO should look at?
I believe we have went through all the pointers. I'll put it a little crisp to get my. Undoubtedly, AI is one of the things that we need to keep in mind. There's much more to come. I'm still very much excited. What you never know what you can get. In the future. So I'm expecting something even more AI driven items will come in future. That is definitely one thing I'm more excited on. Second thing is related to the how direct answers or zero click searches. That is something I would rather emphasize more on, that all the SEO professional and content marketers should work on to get more visibility around that. The better your content is, the relevant and quality content you're putting it, definitely you will never see any sort of lag in getting better positioning in Google search or getting more visibility on the search engines. Definitely content play a very very good role when it comes to getting a better user experience. The more interactive it is, a lot of you need to monitor and optimize for a lot of user engagement matrix that will definitely deliver you a very very good experience for your users preferences and behavior, how they engage with your page. The better understanding you have about it, the better data you have about it, that can definitely help you strategize around the same. So these 2 3 items I believe, and definitely tech SEO will always be there in the list whenever you make a checklist, irrespective in whichever year you're talking about, rather it be in the past years, today, or in the coming future, because there's so many items that you need to optimize for. And user engagement bit may definitely, technical SEO is one of the items which will definitely play a very very important role for your website. So I'll keep it a
Definitely.
balance of content plus technical. How you manage it is up to you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it goes again, I go back to what Janvi mentioned, right? Around say someone niching down and putting content and all those stuff, right? So
Hmm.
there I someone mentioned, right? Riches are in niches, and that's how
Right.
it is
Yeah.
for everyone, right?
Yeah.
So even from a content and SEO point of view. So what I feel, right? I know we are towards the end of it, and there's one question before I express my feeling on this. I will pick up this question, and I think this can be for both of you. Jami, if you want to go first in terms of AI, everyone talking about AI, everyone wants to know what tools you use.
Application keeping an eye on upcoming. Okay,
trend.
so
Yeah.
I'll take this first, and then Rewati can take.
Sure.
So I basically use ChatGPT. That is my go-to tool. ChatGPT is like a must have, and I think that is there. The other one that I really use is Midjourney for pictures and everything, because I am not like that an expert on graphics. It takes me a lot of time to get it done. I use Canva, and then so I think Midjourney does a wonderful job over there. And for some things like for headline and other, I just use some other tool as well. There is one copy.ai that is also like really good tool. So these are my three go-to. Other, I'm just still exploring. There are some things that I like, some things I don't. I use some for my video editing also, but that haven't like worked really well. So I haven't like been able to figure out that. But these are my three go-to tools that have really helped. ChatGPT being the best one, and as I think Malhar also said that I am really excited for Gemini also, and I look forward to exploring that more now. So yeah, that's it.
Revati?
Well, ChatGPT, I believe, is one of the tools that will always be there in the list. That is definitely one of the items. I also use a lot of. I use ChatGPT for a lot of tasks related to SEO and content marketing. The better you're able to exploit it, if you know how to use it properly, that will definitely benefit you. Definitely benefit you. Apart from that, how coming towards how content you want to create, I am sort of little on the creative side of thing. I like to use a lot of creatives whenever I'm putting any sort of content or any post for that matter. I like to keep it because the visual content is very engaging. So how you put your content in multimedia, it gives a better perspective to the user to understand it. So I emphasize more on maybe using infographics, creating infographics or short animated videos, or in general mind map to give a better clarity. I prefer using Canva for that. Maybe if I'm putting a very small video, an animated one or something of that sort, Animaker is one I'm very much handy with. It gives a very very good understanding. It's very engaging and it gives you a very real time feel, animated feel, how you want to make it. You can make whiteboard videos with that also. That looks very appealing, professional as well as engaging for the user. So what sort of content you're putting in, that's definitely one of the items that you need to figure out on. Apart from that, the all the SEMrush and Ahref is one of the two tools I use a lot. There was Content Shake is one. I believe it's still in experimentation for SEMrush, but I like how they've curated it. A lot of items are there on their right side index that they use with respect to keyword density. What if the plagiarism is proper or not? Whatever content you're publishing it. So keeping that all those items, checklist items in your mind when you're creating your content, all these tools definitely help a lot to make it better with respect to quality.
Absolutely fantastic. And I think there's one question that has come for Janvi in terms of any creator you look up to for inspiration when you have a creative block.
Choosing any one like is like very difficult. Yeah, I follow a lot of creators, that is for sure. But one that has really stood out for me and has been my reason to, even start creating content myself has to be mostly same Prajakta Kohli. Even though her content and my content are entirely different, I like her personality a lot. I don't follow her just for her content, and that is something that like makes me, understand why showing out your personality and just being your raw self no matter
Mm.
what is so important. And that is something that I take from her, and she has been my inspiration for.
Absolutely. So we had a pleasure of hosting Manish Pandey. If you know who
Oh,
Manish
yeah, yeah,
Pandey is,
yeah, yeah,
so
definitely.
he has, yeah, he has been a good friend of SEOTalk for
Prajakta,
a
yeah,
long time. Yeah.
yeah.
So, and he gave some fabulous insights when he was here from a creator economy point of view. So
Hmm.
definitely a lot of
I
things,
thought so.
yeah, to speak about. So thank you both. And like I was saying, see, what I feel is probably what we need to do is a separate session with each of you, because there's a lot to dive further and there's a lot to talk about, stuff that you both are experiencing. And And it's that depth of experience that is really showing up in our conversation today. So thank you so much for being here, sharing your insights and knowledge. And I'm sure we will line up a dedicated session with each of you because there's so much to talk about. And we are like,
Sure,
what?
sure.
Yeah, Varun is pinging me that it's 74 minutes. You guys have been talking. So, but yeah, we'll wrap up. But thank you so much for being here, sharing your thoughts again, and being what you are, because you bring that personality. We've been doing this Women in Marketing series for last 3 years, and this is what we intend to bring out because see, when we started the community, the intent was to bring out some of those Indian marketers, Indian SEO players, and 3 years back when we got this opportunity to do the Women in Marketing series, like to bring out you probably are the hidden gems within the industry, and we are really, I really appreciate you being here and coming on this platform, sharing your thoughts. So thank you again.
Thank you so much. It was like wonderful experience for me as well. It was my first time and I had a great time. Even I couldn't keep track of time. Like I just realized it's been so
Yeah.
long that we are talking here. But it was like pleasure having, just having Rewati also here and just talking about marketing. It is like a really good experience for me. And before I go, I just wanted to say that whoever is watching, I like also create content on Instagram and I just talk about the same things, brand and strategy. I've decoded a lot of Shark Tank brands also, what worked for them or not. I'm just sharing my personal freelancing experience. So you can follow that. I think the link would be in the description. And also please follow and subscribe to SEOTalk as well. They're doing a fabulous job. And yeah, that's it from my end. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mala. It has been a great experience. I believe we have taken quite a lot of time. We didn't even realize how much we have been, talking. We lost a little track of the time. Definitely, it was a great experience coming here again, and I definitely look forward for more, such interesting talks to look forward for with SEO talks. Thank you so much, whoever is watching us. Looking forward to have similar conversations with you guys, and definitely this is something we can look forward to get in touch with more audiences. You can anytime visit on my LinkedIn profile, go through the work that I've created. Looking forward to connect with you all. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So we'll be keeping, within the YouTube comments and everywhere, we'll be having your LinkedIn profile so people can connect with you on this.
Sure.
And to everyone in the audience, please do connect with them because both of them are hidden gems, right? I say that they have been fabulous in what they have been doing. And thank you so much for being here. Again, I know I've been saying thank you for a while, but yeah, this was an interesting session. So lovely to have
Connect
you.
with Malhar too. He had been an absolute good host over here, and we just enjoyed so much having you as well.
My pleasure, sir. Yeah. Okay, so I will end the session now, and yeah, I will go back on the green room. So